Hey, welcome to the Wayward Widow. Honest to God, first of all, I had to look up the word wayward because that song by Kansas, I think it is, Carry On My Wayward Son, was just stuck in my head. And I consider myself a widow, and I'll talk about that in a minute because I think it's so important for me, just for me. This channel is my walk. It's my walk being now without my partner. However you want to cut it or slice it or whatever, it's my walk. And I have to make it my walk and keep it my walk and keep all the other outside noise out. But I needed to be sure of what wayward meant, which is basically someone who kind of does things their own way and goes off and, doesn't follow maybe the given path, and kind of like bratty maybe almost, or, just does things their way. We'll put it like that. So just like this, which is where I feel like I am. And so then I just looked up widow because my partner, Sky, his real legal name, and I'm Poet, by the way, welcome to the new people. I didn't expect this at all. When I had personal promises up, I didn't know what I was doing or where I was going because I don't know how to be a widow, and I certainly don't know how to be alone, and I'm scared to death, and I cry a lot, and I shake, and I panic, and I do all those things. And so I just felt like I have nothing to give anyone except all this, maybe throw the fear of fear of death into everyone, which I didn't want to do, an insecurity, which I didn't want to do. And then I just started thinking, one, how much I missed everybody. That was the first thing. And two, this is a lonely walk. This is incredibly lonely. And I don't have a community around me in person. I don't have a support system. Other than my family doctor, my psychiatrist that I see every 6 weeks, my therapist I see weekly. And I just started a by phone grief group. We don't see each other. I dial the number. I can go into a group by phone, and there might be 4 or 5 people and we talk about our losses. Now, I only did it one time. It had just started. This new section had just started. And so that's what I have, but I don't have anyone here with me. I live alone now. I live alone. It's just me and Sky's ashes and our cat Moonshadow's ashes. So I'm here with a lot of ashes, a lot of non-organic material, and me. But I wanted to see exactly what is a widow, because I've had some folks challenge, am I a widow, truly a widow? Our relationship lasted 13 plus years. And in that time, from 2010 when we met until 2014, we were not married. And we decided to get married only because we wanted to have a union done at a Zen center. Sky was a diehard Soto Zen Buddhist. He took Jakai. I practice a little Buddhism, a lot of Stoicism, and some God is thrown in there. And I say all that with pride and being okay with that. Anyway, so we went to a Zen center to have a union, and it needed to be legal. So we got married, we had the piece of paper, and we did all that stuff. And I'll show you my wedding dress at some point, which is so completely different than what you would think a wedding dress is. Actually, if you give me just a second, I'll show you my wedding dress. Here's my wedding dress. This I wore over my shoulders. This is like a chain mail, is it? Is that what you call that? And this dress was bought at a mall. Goes down to the floor. Has the ruffles on the bottom, and it has the filigree and the lace. And the back, it has this where it's like gathered, and then straight down. Sky wore all black, and he wore his sash that that he got when he took Jakai. Anyway, so we were legally married until the following September of 2015. And I said to him, I want to end the legal part of this. For one, I don't want the piece of paper. I had been married in the past. He had been married in the past multiple times for both of us. We didn't want it, didn't need it. So I filed for divorce. It was very simple. Everybody just signed the papers. It was $300, done. But we still considered ourselves, whatever part of marriage we had. We loved each other. We were together. When we weren't working, we were together. And that was that. We were that. He had, and the second reason was he had a large financial debt from way back in his day, way back in his day, that had nothing to do with me at all whatsoever. I had nothing to do with it. It was way back there when he was in college, and he was getting his master's. Anyway, I did not want to get tangled up in that situation. I was very honest. Like, I didn't create that. That's not mine. You need to work that out with the appropriate people. And he did, but still the financial part of it still came from our household kitty. It came from the household pot, and out the door it went, because that's the way it had to be. But I didn't want legally to be responsible for that, because that was not my debt. And it wasn't really a small one. So some people have said, well, you're not truly a widow because you weren't married. But from 2015 all the way until when he died in 2024, just 7 weeks ago, we were together that 13 plus years. So I considered myself a widow. So I looked up widow. And a widow is considered a widow or widower for up to 2 years after the death of your spouse. Now it says someone who's married and the person dies, and then you become a widow or widower. Now when you go, it also says as you go down to different searches, that if you find a very old tombstone, you'll see the word relict, R-E-L-I-C-T, which means the one left over, the one left behind, the one left over. So I am the one left over. It's me, the widow. I'm the one left over. So I was like, okay, I felt good. Not that I want that title at all, but that it was okay for me to claim it for a half a second, I called Sky the man I take care of. I called him my buddy, my partner, my roommate, my best friend, the guy who has my back, my domestic partner, my husband, my lover, my friend. He called me Buddy. We call each other Buddy from the movie Elf. And if you watch Eamon and Beck, they call each other Buddy from the movie Elf. And that's where I got it from Eamon and Beck. And he would call me Sugar. He would call me his wife, his girlfriend, his lover, his friend, his sidekick. We just, but I knew I didn't want to be alone through this. Like, I didn't want to try to go through this completely alone without anyone. And I love my PCP. He's wonderful. He's retiring very soon. And he's going to be leaving after him being my doctor for 26 years or 27 years. And I'll have Sky's doctor then. And so I know Sky's doctor very well. And he's a good doctor. He's actually the director of this group that I go to. I have a really good therapist. She's trying hard to help me. Her name is Kelly, and I have a psychiatrist. And I just call her Dr. Maria. That's just her first name. And I like her. She's doing what she needs to do for me. So I'm on medication. I'm on a benzodiazepine. I'm on Ativan. I've been on Ativan since I was in my 20s because I have really severe anxiety and panic attacks, like really severe. I've been on disability for these situations since 2016. I also have CPTSD, so it's complex post-traumatic stress disorder and major depressive disorder. But I don't really count that. I think we all can go in these high and lows, and then there's some that go down and they just don't come back up for a while. And I can't imagine what that feels like. But so I am the one left over. So when I wanted to pick a name that would give me a channel where I could try and get through this in one piece. And that's my goal, is just to try to get through this phase in my life in one piece. I'll turn 65 in August. And I've been with someone since I was 18. So being alone like this is incredibly scary for me. And you need a community. You do need a community. If anybody watches Kyle Appleford, he talks about building community. And with my anxiety, it's hard for me to get out and get around people to build a community in person. So this is what I have, and I'd like to make the best of this and the most of this, and let people know what it's been like for me, what I've gone through, what I've seen, what I've experienced so far in just 7 weeks and Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and 7 weeks and 4 days. What this experience has been like for me, between his disease, how I went through it, the care, what I went through with me physically, where I am physically, where I am emotionally, where I am financially, what all has happened, what does this feel like? What do people around me do or don't do? How do I manage? Barely. But I want to show this. So that's the channel. I'm in Pennsylvania. I'm down in the Philadelphia area. If you want to look at the state, I'm in that corner. I'm in a 2-bedroom apartment, and I am going to stay. Now, my lease is up the end of May, but if I was going to leave, I'd have to let them know by the end of this month of April. They want a 30-day notice, but I'm going to stay. I had a little more than half of the money for my rent from my check left over, and I borrowed the other half. That's not what I wanted to do, and that's not what I would suggest for anybody. But I feel like I need a full year after Sky's transition from this earth, this body, to where he is now. I feel like I need a full year. I don't know why a year, but the lease goes in a year term, so I feel like I need a year to kind of get my bearings. So I'm going to stay. I have some paperwork out for some different agencies for financial help. Keeping my fingers crossed. I'm just going to go month to month and hope I get a phone call or a letter from someone. I actually got a letter from our electric company. It just said they're trying to get me for me to call them. No one has called me from the electric company, so I don't understand that. But the account was in both of our names, and then they took his name off, and the account just stayed in my name. I always paid the bill anyway, and he paid the rent. I paid everything else. But I'm not sure why they want me, unless it has something to do with the fact that I applied for LIHEAP, which is help with the electric bill. And the, cash grants are kind of tied up in Congress, I'm reading. So maybe it has something to do with that. They just want to let me know that things are tied up in Congress. That's my guess. But I can't call till Monday. So one of the Stoics says, because I study Stoicism, if you can't change it, don't worry about it. If you can change it, don't worry about it. I talk fast sometimes because it's my anxiety. I want to thank Yaz. Yaz sent me the cat cup. You'll see the cat cup a lot. She sent me a teacup with a lid, and it's got a cat on it. You also see my Karen cup. My Karen cup is my purple cup that I use for my smaller iced coffees, because I have an iced coffee every day, decaf, but I have it every day. And you'll see little things that a couple people have sent me here and there. I don't ask for anything. I don't have a P.O. box or anything like that. These are just people that have connected with me on a real personal level. And so they know where I'm at, and they've sent a few things, and I'm so appreciative. I wear my Stacy bracelet. First thing I do when I get up is I put this bracelet on. My friend Stacy sent me this, not this particular one. She sent me a different one. And during one of Sky's moments of when dementia kicked in, he grabbed the bracelet and he broke it. He like grabbed at my arm, grabbed the bracelet and pulled, and it broke. And I couldn't put it back together. And Stacy sent me a second Stacy bracelet. So when I refer to my Stacy bracelet, this is what I'm talking about. It helps me to kind of calm down. So yesterday when I went outside to feed the squirrels, because I feed the squirrels every day, there was a package on the step from Yaz. And Yaz is my cat couplet girl. And it's the mindfulness self-care cards. These are so cool. These are so cool. There's cards in here. And yes, I appreciate this so much. So what you do is, there's a little stand like this, little stand, and you put your card on here. And so, let me get my cards. So yesterday's card was, the body is your temple, keep it pure and clean for the soul to reside in. And it tells the person that said it. And on the other side, it gives you an action to do. Protect the gates to your temple by setting clear boundaries. Learn to prioritize self-care and give yourself permission to say no. So it'll say like this on this side and like this on this side. And today's, I'm just picking from the top. I'm not going in any order each day. But today, what I did was I took this and I put it on the little card holder. And then I would go over and look at it from time to time. But today's I really love. Yes, I really love this one. It says, you cannot breathe deeply and worry at the same time. So it's like, and I don't know how to pronounce her last name, but her first name is Sonia. Looks like French. I don't want to butcher it. And on the back, the action is breathe in for 5 seconds and breathe out for 10 seconds. Repeat this for a few minutes. The longer exhalation has a detoxifying effect. So, I love these cards. So, that's that one. And then that's what it tells you, the action to do on the back. And then I put it on the little stand. And I put it on my windowsill. Something else that I do is I drink a lot of water. A lot of water. And if you don't like really big, bulky cups, I know the Stanley cups are really big right now. Everybody wants a big thermos full of water. For me to get the water in me that I want, which is at least 60 to 70 ounces, 60 ounces of clear water and 10 ounces of green tea at least a day. I love these McDonald's cups. I go in and ask, can I have a cup and a lid? I now have 3 clean McDonald's cups, and they're so light. And this is 15 ounces when you fill it to the line. And it's so easy for me to get 15 ounces just chugged down at a time. So as you're going through your grief and your mourning and you're crying and you don't know what to do, and go and get a glass of water. Get yourself hydrated. It's not going to stop the crying, but it's going to make your body feel a lot better. I want to show this too. This is just, my pocketbook is sitting right here. I got this at Walmart forever ago. And my other Stacy, I have 2 Stacy friends, sent me this keychain. It's pretty big, but what I love about it is I hooked it on the outside of my pocketbook, and so when I'm standing in line somewhere, I tend to panic. Like if I'm at line at CVS, line at Walmart for self-checkout, I'll start to panic. And so this is right at my fingertip length. And so I'll grab this and I will just start counting the beads, and I'll turn it, and it will help me to calm down. So I got that. And then someone sent me turtles, and I still do not know who sent me the turtles. No one is talking yet as to who sent me the turtles, but I put the turtles with the keychain with the Stacy mala beads kind of thing. We got mama and baby and daddy turtle. I'll tell this little story, and then I'm going to go dry my hair and put a little bit of makeup on, and we'll call this one quits for now. There's a lot to try to do this, and to try to do this in a way that people understand that this is what's happening to me. It may not hit you the same way. Nothing I do may not hit you the same way. Nothing about my home may not hit you the same way. Sky's illness and his death and transition, like, things went fast. And I honestly thought he would still be here today. But I'll tell you the turtle story real quick, and then I'm going to go. It's 21 minutes. Sky's from Chattanooga, Tennessee, born and raised. He spent a lot of years in Georgia. He spent a lot of years in California. And then he went back to Tennessee, and then we met on Facebook in a Facebook Buddhist group. And he came up to Pennsylvania to be with me. He hated the cold weather, but he came up to Pennsylvania to be with me. And he would say to me often, he was working at a Lowe's, and he was not a people person, very introverted, and he would say to me, "Why are people up here so mean? I don't understand why everybody's so mean." Well, I'm born and raised Pennsylvania. I don't see mean people. I see nice people. I see some crabby people. I see unhappy people. I see happy people. I see kind people. I see unkind people. Anywhere I go, doesn't matter what state, you can find people like that, good or bad. But he would say it, and he would say it pretty often. Why are people so mean? Like, I don't know. I don't know what you mean. And so he said, well, I think a lot of people up here are mean. So one day we're taking a walk, and we're walking along the river, this little trail, beautiful trail. And there's a little baby turtle. And I told this in one of my other videos, but there was a little turtle, and it was coming up out of the grass onto the paved part. And it was so cute. And I said to him, "Can I pick that up, that turtle?" And he said, "Oh yeah," because he's a nature boy, born and raised Tennessee. He played in the woods and all that, So I'm figuring he knows his turtles, right? So I said, I can pick it up? And he said, yeah. And I said, "It's not going to bite me?" And he said, "No." So I believed him. And I bent down, and by the sides, I picked the turtle up. And the turtle promptly spun his head around and bit me. And of course, I dropped the turtle. The turtle was fine. No turtle was hurt during this incident. But I turned around and I looked at him, and I'm like, "You said it wouldn't bite me." And he said, without missing a beat, "See, even the turtles are mean in Pennsylvania." I'm like, really? Like a turtle in Tennessee wouldn't do that to you? Anyway, I'm going to leave you guys with that. There's a lot of widow channels out there. There's a channel called The Happy Widow. There's a channel that I just started. Her name is Kelly Isabel DeMarco. You might want to check out Kelly Isabel DeMarco. She just lost her husband, Tim, to cancer. She's very deep in reflection. I love listening to her journey, her walk with grief. There's another woman. Her channel is something like, a sad weeping widow, and then she gives her name, and I think it's like Anna something. I'll look for her again. I'm subscribed to her, but she's always standing next to her refrigerator in the videos, and right now she's not feeling well herself, and I've just been drawn to her. Of course, I watched Kyle Appleford after he lost Jenny, and there's Paul in Perth. There's a couple of other people that have passed on. Sarah from the Pog family. I guess Josh isn't doing videos anymore on grief, which you get to a point where, you know, you move on. But I think that, or move through. And for me, what I want to do with this channel is keep it going, because my life will go until I die and I transition to what's next for me. But how am I going to do it? How do I get through each day now without him here and me being the one left over? I almost feel like the last piece of pizza in the box, so to speak. But thank you for being with me. Thank you for being a support system. I didn't know whether to attempt this, to be able to try to really tell what this feels like just for me. This is how I feel. This is how I live my life. This is my apartment. This is my feelings and thoughts when, after being with someone for 14 years and then not being with them and watching them die, going through hospice and watching the disease and going through the whole death planning stage, the cremation stage, the doctor visits, the pills, the morphine. It does something to you. It messes you up. It adds to your PTSD. Big time. Big time. And then you look around and you find yourself completely alone. And the world keeps going. And there you are. And you don't know what to do. So this will be my way of hopefully survival of something that's really difficult for me. So again, thank you for being here. I appreciate you.